Hey, Ben.
Yeah, Jake.
I was on one of my usual strolls down Bridge Road.
Oh, do you work in Richmond?
Yeah. 3121, baby.
Ooh, hashtag.
And ran into your mate,
Oh, which one?
Terry Wallace.
Yeah, Des, how is he?
Tanned.
Yeah. So he didn't get rid of the salon, the tanning bed.
Well, whatever he's doing, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of us mere mortals just ordered from behind the glass the pre-made wraps and sandwiches and stuff, and he said, "I'm going to need a fresh one."
You got a freshie.
Because I don't like mayo. The guy goes, "I'll sort you out, Terry. Who do you think's going to win it?" Shut up, mate.
Oh.
I didn't get that sort of silver service. I'll give you the red hot to you. Welcome, viewers, to the finals week 2 episode of the Magoos. Of the Magoo. The Magoos. We are still called the Magoos. Benny, we've got 1 week of finals down, which means we've lost 2 sides. We did our tips last week.
Oh, I thought you were going to get this
I'm
out
happy
of the way
to
nice
open
and
with
early.
this.
Yeah,
I'm happy
go
to
on.
open with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 from 4.
3 from 4.
Which means you got how many?
1 from 4.
1 from 4.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Well,
I know my footy.
I rolled the dice. I mean, no, you've...
Did you, though?
No, my footy. You tipped the top 2 teams, so you're pretty much guaranteed 2 tips.
Yeah, but then you tipped the other 2 higher teams.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
Yeah.
A bit of fun.
So-
Thought we'd go for a bit of contrast.
But we didn't know that it was contrast at the time because we were just doing our tips and it just ended up with 4 separate.
All right, maybe
And I'm not sure you can. Yeah, that
I'm
doesn't-
too much of a dreamer.
So you tipped 5 and 6, and I tipped 1 and 2. That's
did I tip 5? Yeah,
Yeah, you
true.
did, yeah.
So I got that. I got 5 right.
yeah.
Yeah. Are we going to address
So
that? We're
I'm
in
smart.
the.
Oh, Studio B.
We're working on this studio, as you can tell. We've got a bit of fresh paint going.
Yeah, there's a bit going around here, so we
I'm,
might just turn it into a real Magoo's haven. Hopefully you buy into that because this is a much better setup for us.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little echoey for my liking.
Yeah, well, there's no. We could probably get away with putting some of those like foam things on the wall.
Just
don't
egg
come
cartons
up.
work as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, pack of 30 down at Preston Market for $8. 30 carton.
Oh, we're going to be smashing through the eggs. Like, we're
Yeah.
eating eggs.
Well, we're buying them anyway, so.
Okay. Egg
But
cartons work
I'll
as well, is that right?
I've been told that by a professional sound person.
It's interesting that every professional studio has the foam in it then, isn't it? If egg cartons work.
Well, maybe they just spray painted it and it doesn't. It's not actually foam.
Disagree. So, if we go back, Richmond beat Hawthorn.
Yep. Started off as a cracking game.
It was a good game of footy, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tigers were too good for too long.
Hawthorn, I think Hawthorn were a bit better than most people sort of give them credit for. I didn't think they were.
Well, I tipped them, so...
Yeah, no, I mean in this game, sorry, not prior leading up to.
Yeah, I see what you mean. There was still, what, 31 points
Richmond
in the
go
end.
through, yeah, but I mean Richmond just do what they need
They're
to do.
just
don't they?
relentless, but just too long.
Yeah, they're very, very good. They'll be very hard to beat. But in saying that, if Collingwood beat GWS this week and it's a Richmond-Collingwood prelim, that might be the best chance, I think.
Yeah, well, I think Collingwood would be extra spewing that they didn't beat West Coast on the weekend because they know that if they proceed, they'll have to play the Tigers before the granny.
Yeah, whereas you'd
Not
rather get them on the last day. But Melbourne were very, very good against Geelong. I've been very bullish about Geelong all year, and they looked very, very ordinary under the pressure from the Ds.
Well, I'm on the D's bandwagon for September, and I maintain that. I think they can get there. I think they can beat Hawthorn this week, and if they play like they did on the weekend, but convert a little more, I think not only can they win, but they can win by 4 or 5 goals.
Is that right? Well, I think Geelong had their chance. They had some chances in that third quarter. They were coming at Melbourne, and they could have really put the wind up them.
Yeah, I did feel like Melbourne let them have a chance though. At the same time, it should have been a 12-goal win in my opinion.
The thing is, right? So Melbourne, they got ahead of the game early, and they played really, really well in the first quarter, and they shocked the Cats. But you don't need they're talking about Melbourne being the team with no finals experience, right? And only having Jones as the only player, I think, to have played in finals, whatever, all that sort of stuff. And that was a
well.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
But for Melbourne,
you're right. Sorry. But the lack of finals experience only matters when the game's going against you.
That's a good call.
When you're behind or you're being challenged, that's when when the other team's running on all cylinders. When you're doing it, it's fine. It doesn't matter. The guys were running ahead of the ball and they do it better than anyone, Melbourne. and they got far enough front. But if Geelong had have, it just would have been really, really interesting to see how Melbourne would have responded if Geelong had have kicked. Menzel missed, Menegola missed, Dangerfield missed.
The Tom Hawkins turnover.
Although Geelong had enough chances to get right back and could have been in front during the third quarter. I mean, they didn't take them, and Melbourne played really well, so you can't. And I'm not trying to take that away from them, but I just think that Hawthorn might give Melbourne a little bit of a wake up call this weekend. I think Hawthorn won't make the same mistakes they made last week, but
particularly from your veterans.
Yeah, some of those misses were shocking.
With
Bruce, they were really bad. They were really bad. So I just think that Melbourne, and I mean they've done really well, and I said that they would have to win a final to make this year a success, and they've ticked. If Melbourne were to lose on the weekend, regardless of the margin, I think this is a successful season. Mm-hmm. But I think that they would also see themselves as being a red hot chance to win.
Yeah.
And then go over to Perth where they beat West Coast about 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, there's a lot of people saying that they might be this year's story, as we've seen the Bulldogs and even Richmond to a certain extent. You're playing really well at the right time of year. Anything's possible, even if coming out of the top 4. But I think it'll be the Hawks this week that halt that run. We will get to it a little bit later on when we do some tips. We might do some margins as well, just to see where we try and tighten it up, because I am 2 finals tips ahead of you.
You are. So I tend to disagree with that as well, though. So
we'll just wait and see until we get to it.
There were sparks of just Melbourne sort of making their mark. But you are. I didn't. That was a really good point though about it really matters when you're behind in finals. What you can do from there. So.
I often try to make good points.
Well, that one I will give you a tick for.
What I was really happy with was because I was certain GWS had beat Sydney, and I was really happy that they did, and they did it really convincingly, and I was really happy with that.
What a rubbish game that turned out to be. I think I didn't even watch the last quarter.
I don't think the games are what I think at the SCG. They always seem to be like the same game of footy that's played at the SCG.
They lack something.
Yeah, like it's great atmosphere and it's always congested and the ball's always spends a lot of time on the ground and whatever. But the Giants were really, really good. I think they're going to struggle coming to the MCG, especially with no Josh Kelly against Collingwood. But you never know coming back from Perth. That might trip the Pies up. But I think Collingwood was so good last week against West Coast for so long that if they bring that form, they're going to beat most other teams in the comp. And
I don't buy into that whole coming back from Perth thing, though. I think
it's not ideal.
Would have heard if people didn't hear listening to the show. What's his name? Eddie Maguire had a bit of a stink up over the whole 6-day turnaround and all that. Firstly, they have to win this week to get that 6 days.
He was just talking from a broader sense, though. In fairness to him, I know that. But we know that his point is Collingwood, but he.
No, I know, but you're only fine. It's only the presidents and those sort of non-footballing
the never played
world
sort of
who actually make these sort of. I mean, Scott Pendlebury was interviewed today, which is Wednesday.
Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, just for when this comes out. And he said he didn't care. He's like 6 days is like it's plenty of time. The actual players don't care. I mean, if you're 4 or 5 day race, you would care. But
I think that there's a bit more sports science in it, though.
There is, but I think 6 days is plenty of time because they got back on the plane straight away from Perth, didn't they?
Yeah, they would have been on the red eye.
Yeah.
What I'd be concerned about is one of Hawthorn or Melbourne and going and playing during the day over in Perth in Saturday week.
In a nice 26-degree Perth day. Is that what you're worried about?
When North Melbourne...
Is it going to be a day game though, do you think?
Yeah, no, it is. It is a day game.
Because of the time delay as well.
So I think it's a 1:20 over there, which makes it a 3:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time.
3:20. Are the Melbourne boys up for that sort of heat?
The Hawthorn boys up for that.
Well, I mean Melbourne, vicinity. Victoria.
Victoria.
That's
so I remember I was listening on the radio today and they were talking about North Melbourne when they went over there for a prelim a few years ago and the players, was so badly beaten up by the heat. It was like, they were vomiting on the plane on the way back and stuff.
Really?
They didn't win and didn't progress. But like the heat had really, obviously, you're playing in the Melbourne winter environment most of the time and then all of a sudden you're in this out in the what is pretty much a summer sun over there in Perth. It can zap you, and then if somehow you win, you've got to travel dehydrated, and your whole week is just about recovery and making sure you're right. But
so you don't get an IV drip on the plane.
Is
You talk about
Ivy?
sport, you get some sort of drip, I reckon.
Yeah.
Something that's above board.
Intravenous, yeah. Very, very dangerous needles and drips. And
Yeah, we won't go down that path, I don't think, as a national supporter. Let's not. But if you flip the switch, no one ever talks about the Perth teams have to do this every second week.
It's true. It's true. But it's a Victorian-based competition.
It's definitely... You see more and more in the last month or so, the hashtag, not AFL, it's still VFL.
Yeah. Still VFL.
Still VFL.
Nothing quite like Twitter is there. And to finish off the finals week 1, West Coast were impressive in beating Collingwood, who were also impressive.
Yeah, that's why I think GWS have got their work cut out from this week against Collingwood.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Collingwood,
as much as I rate the Giants, I tend to agree.
Yeah, well, Collingwood were very stiff on the weekend. West Coast were, too good. It was pretty special as well, I thought. Good finish. Barker did a couple of nice things that looked really nice, yeah. But look, Pendlebury I think had 17 touches. He'll be out for a 30 plus this week. Who's going to stop?
The G.
Yeah, they play a really good defensive structure as well when they sort of turn the ball over. So that'll come in handy against GWS, who obviously move it very well.
Very well.
That'd be a good game actually. Thinking about it a bit more.
It will be a good game.
Yeah,
it'll be a good game to watch. So. Yeah, I mean, down the last 6 sides, they should be good games to watch.
Well, that's true. Well, there was no over 100 points in the first week of the finals.
Yeah, but I don't think that's...
No, but just saying that like most clubs right now are very good defensively.
So, Benny, as we get stuck into this Week 2 program, it would be remiss of Week 2 finals program, I should say. It would be remiss of us not to mention the man we had on the program last week. If you...
How's the timing?
If you had, so great, great for content. If you missed last week's episode, Magoo's Community, make sure you go out and have a look or a listen to our interview with Alex Woodward, obviously former Hawk, now Collingwood VFL player/runner. Not only has he successfully returned to football this year after his 4th knee reconstruction, he played 8 games in Collingwood's VFL side the back end of the year, and he finished second in the JJ Liston Trophy, I think it is. I don't think it's a medal. I think it's a trophy.
Second or third?
Second, I thought, with 16 votes.
Oh,
because they shared at the top. There was 2.
Oh, was there 2 winners?
Then,
so he came second.
And I believe on 16 votes from 8 games.
That is it a 3-2-1 system?
Almost certain.
Jesus. How many games are in the VFL? Is it the same as AFL? 22?
No, not quite. I think it might
not quite, but still, so it's 8 games out of, say...
Yeah.
It's less than half of the season.
Yeah, it'd have to be less than half.
That is unbelievable.
Remarkable is what it is. And
it's unbelievable that we had him on the show a week before.
We sort of brushed over his sort of recent, like we knew he was playing good footy.
And
as we said, he'd been in the best 7 of 8 times, but, sometimes the internet best isn't always, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the internet
Have
best.
you been in the internet best a few times and not get the votes on the night?
I don't want to make this about me.
I used to hate that. When you got a big fight.
Well, I was in the best this week, so I should be right here.
Yeah, I should be coming third, coming into the last round.
And then, didn't get a vote there.
Yeah, you always get that one. The runner, usually pretty drunk, said, "You were robbed, mate. You were robbed." But then you watch him go to the next spot. You were robbed, mate.
And he's talking to like a pole or something.
That is
so huge. So make sure you go back and watch or listen to our last episode with Alex. An incredible story and a really good guy. He's got his head screwed on tight. I saw Nathan Buckley spoke about him on the radio the other day, and he was full of praise for him.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
do you think with enough praise, someone might go, "Hey, we'll give you a crack in the rookie list"? Maybe.
I think you might want to see a bit more of a sample size.
True.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So he's nearly won the JJ Liston Trophy twice.
Yeah.
That's never been done, I would say.
Oh, let's not go too far.
Well,
I don't know.
I would say it hasn't. I did look him up last week before we ate.
You reckon no one's ever won? Well, when we take a break shortly, we'll have a little bit of a look and we'll come back. Come back and see whether or not anyone's maybe JJ Liston did it. Maybe that's why it's named after him.
Maybe the J's because you won it twice.
All great footballers' first 2 initials are JJ.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All great.
All good football.
Okay. Chris Judd.
He's like champion. He's above grade.
Grade. Right. So local level, who we're talking
grade
more?
is like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah. All right.
So all 3 out of 5s are JJs. Good content. So what we've had today, as again we said that it was a Wednesday, we've had Dan Hanbury and Gary Rowan expressed their desire to move to Victorian clubs. I believe Hanbury will be St Kilda and Rowan will be the Cats.
The Cats again. Are they? So they're obviously. Have they got? I know this is ignorant, but have they got cap space?
They must have enough. Cat space? Did you say cat space?
Cat space. They surely have to put someone on the table if they're going to get both Rowan and Dalhouse.
Well, Dalhouse they get for free.
Watching on the weekend.
Not for they don't pay him for, but
yeah, is he unrestricted?
Yeah, unrestricted.
Well, that's good. I was watching on the weekend, and you know who for mine goes under the radar of being, not I would say overrated, but if he went through a different team, being the age he was, I don't think he'd be recognised as much, and that's Guthrie. I just reckon he just doesn't want the footy as much as people like to think. It's just out of nowhere. Just a little. I know it's a little dig, but
it is a little dig, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be putting him on the table if I was the Cats.
Well, he's the sort of player that they might have to deal, isn't it? But their midfield was pretty ordinary.
Very ordinary.
Friday night
but the D's midfield was sensational.
Yeah, and the D's pressure was high. So, but I mean, if you've got a lot of players that can't cope with pressure, what's the point of having them? So,
tell me, Jake.
I can't tell you, Ben.
Okay.
So, Hanbury's an interesting one to St Kilda. He looks pretty banged up, old mate Dan.
Plus the flight, he'll have to get down from Sydney.
Yeah.
Might throw up a couple of times.
It's a long hauler. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Just trying to throw you off a little bit.
Yeah, well, you've done that. But
Hanbury to St Kilda.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It doesn't seem like a win for anyone. Why would Hanbury want to go to St Kilda? Why does St Kilda need Hanbury? Like, I know what they're saying with, St Kilda need a bit more star power, but I'm not sure Dan Hanbury's star power anymore. I don't know. He's only 27, so he does have a bit to give.
I almost feel like his engine's not big enough for a full game in the mid sort of.
He just looks like he's hurt, and maybe if he gets right, then he'll be good to go.
Do you think St Kilda might be clutching a little bit? They need to land. They've promised that they're going to land someone. Am I keeping you awake, mate? Is this the paid job?
This is boring.
Yeah, the toxins.
Yes, I think that Hanbury needs to get himself fit. Needs to be if he's going to have any impact on St Kilda, and especially if there's a chance Jack Stephen moves on from St Kilda, it's a bit of a sideways move for the Saints for mine.
It's almost getting the same player, but less talented.
But less what you need. Like you're losing your best player and getting a slightly older, slower, less impactful.
So what does Rowan then bring to Geelong? Is he getting a game there?
Yeah, he is. He is because he gives you that. He's not a better Menzel, but I don't know. I'm not a big rap for Dan Menzel personally, so I think that they sort of get a. I mean, Gary Rowan's no superstar either. But Geelong Falcons, boy, it's interesting. They keep dragging those guys back to the club. Dangerfield, Henderson, Dalhouse, Rowan. These sort of guys are all Geelong Falcons, boys. So they've even got their own little go-home factor. Yeah, which is interesting.
They do have a good system down there, the Geelong Falcons.
Yeah, and I mean, all power to them. It's like that, sort of a city within in an area sort of thing that everyone wants to.
Definitely.
And, Jack Stevens from Lawton, so.
Yeah, and did you see, actually speaking of Geelong there, Wacky Wednesday?
I did. Yeah. Do you like the Monday, Wacky Wednesday sort of setups?
I have no problem with it at all.
Your mate Kane Corns has a big problem with it.
Oh, does he?
Hates the dress-ups.
You know why? He probably never got invited to one.
The old players have got nothing to celebrate sort of thing.
Yeah, because I think it's more that they haven't had a bloody drink for however long. They're young blokes.
I just don't understand.
That's just my mate Kane, just being my mate Kane,
Sounds like it.
Just Kane. I reckon a couple of times at Port they might have told him we're going to this pub and they went to a different pub and he's just a bit salty still.
What was your favourite dress up?
I liked them all. Paddy was actually quite good.
Paddy was good, didn't he?
Paddy was good, although if you notice in the photo he was walking with a latte, so that took it out of my... Okay, that took it down a little bit, just because, if you're going all out, walking with a coffee. The royal wedding was good. But your mate Matt Thompson, he's a journal on the feed, the footy feed on AFL.
Yeah,
he came out and said one of the most anticipated events in the AFL is Geelong's Wacky Wednesday. Don't know about that. It's a big call.
Not quite, is it? But
when it rolls around, you're like, oh, I'd like to see this.
It's good content.
It's great
content.
Speaking of, do you want to go to a break? Yeah. And I'll let you have a nap, just a quick tenner, and we'll come back and we'll sort it out.
Sounds good. Okay, welcome back to the second half of this Magoo's episode. Benny, we've just had a quick look at the JJ list, and
I hate it when I get
winners.
fact-checked. I say things without really...
I'm not sure how you didn't know this, but...
how far did you get until you found someone who's won it twice?
70s.
Okay.
Alan Poor won it from Waverley, back-to-back, 65-66. Laurie Hill won it 69 and 71 for Preston.
Yeah. I believe there's a Laurie Hill medal down at Preston.
Vic Einenson, yes, for Port Melbourne. Won it in 79 and 81. I mean, I can't stop finding good winners.
All right, we get the point. There's been more than 2 winners.
Very good, very good. Okay, time for a Magoo's moment of the week.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Benny.
You did text me during the week saying you've got a great one.
Josh Dugan. Know the name?
I do, actually, yeah. How do I know it?
He is a rugby league player. Professional rugby plays in the NRL. And he is absolutely no stranger to trouble. He's had a fair few indiscretions off the field and has bounced around from a few clubs, I believe, lost his place in the international side and all sorts of things like that. And it's more of a...
He's having a baby?
No.
Okay.
I believe this is just more of a make sure you go and watch this sort of Magoo's moment.
Okay.
Because old mate Josh realises that he is a bit of a magnet for bad news stories, and he had a press conference yesterday, Tuesday, I believe it was, where he broke down emotionally and speaking about the bad rep that players get, and he said he understands why, but he said that he just goes on to talk about, the media and how they portray players and how they want to report on some things and not others. And a lot of the work that he's been doing with a young boy who recently passed away that he raised a lot of money for and stuff like that. No, it's just worth definitely going. And it was on Instagram, I saw it, but it's definitely readily available. A lot of articles and stuff have come out. A lot of players backing up him. His stance. So I think that it's worthwhile just going and have a look, and especially certain members of the media who do definitely like to chase those negative stories and often ignore the positive ones.
That's very true.
It was just sobering, I think, to hear it from a player who's obviously been on both sides and recognises why he's been on both sides. But yeah, just that there are plenty out there doing plenty good. So the Magoo's moment of the week is Josh Dugan.
Josh Dugan, congrats.
There you go. Joins in.
I personally haven't seen it, but I will actually watch that after this.
Definitely worth going to have a little bit of a look. Moving to the socials now, Benny. We asked one of the most controversial parts. It
only seems to be finals time that this one pops up.
Yeah.
I think it was finals.
Well, I
Well,
don't think it was a final last year.
when they played the Doggies? Oh, no, I think it was round 23, though. I think it was round 23.
Toby Green and his kick. He defends himself by putting his leg out. We'll edit this so that photo's in there now.
Just something else that
you can do. Puts his leg out to shield himself and sort of create a bit of a barrier around the defence so the defender can't get in and spoil. And it's sort of drawn widespread criticism. Obviously, he kicked Luke Dalehouse in the face last year in whatever round it was and split him open, and everyone thought, is he going to get done for kicking? Is it this? And he was let off.
But he's never done it twice.
Yeah, and on the weekend he was just like kung fu fighting. Like, he was just just whipping them out.
Did he you got to be careful, obviously, for the player's safety, but he's got to play for GWS for them to win.
Yeah.
You got to be careful that you want to play the next week. If he does it in a prelim and they go, all right, that one was too obvious, we'll give you a...
So the AFL have said that it was definitely should have been a free kick. The worst one he did, when I think it was Jake Lloyd maybe that he held out with his foot.
I thought the Grundy one was a free kick. Was it Grundy? Grundy was coming across and he wasn't even in the marking zone, and he sort of made his way outside of it.
Yeah, so we put it to the Magoo's community on our Instagram page at the Magoo's _ and
it was a tight one, wasn't it?
It was. 52% said it was no issue, and 48% of people think it should be at least a free kick. So
if more than half are saying don't worry about it, that's probably enough for you not to make a change.
We'll pass that on to the AFL, and
we certainly will.
The Magoo's community have spoken, so Toby Green, kick away.
Yeah, we'll send Gillen just a screenshot of our results.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, mate, don't worry about changing any rules. We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
We'll
Interesting.
sort it all
52
out
said
in
no.
24 hours.
I get that. It doesn't happen often.
No, but it's just, but I think back to watching a lot of Carlton footy, and Fev and Jared Waite are two people that I would associate with doing that a lot. Sticking the leg out, you just sort of. But the thing is that if you do it with your arm, you get done for pushing.
That's the thing. What's the difference?
So why can you do it with your leg when not arguably, I think that is far more dangerous, especially with boots and studs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like kicking is so much more dangerous than pushing. But yeah, it's just very, very curious. I was sort of 50-50. I didn't really know.
The only way they're going
really
to change that rule is if Toby keeps exploiting that.
And if someone gets a lacerated stomach or something, that's when it's going to...
Yeah.
But then, I mean, how do you differentiate between a high mark where you may push off with your foot, like the Gary Moorcroft mark, for instance, where he's up there and then he springs up using his feet?
I've just thought of it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. It's the same with the back. It's when you extend the arm.
Extend the knee.
It's when you, if you extend the knee, that's for kick. Unless it was already extended, but then you're probably going to injure yourself.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you know what I mean? Like
a bit of work to do with it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely grey.
Just like every umpire in the history of the game, they'll pay it 3 times and then they'll stop paying it, and then they'll pay it in the dying seconds of a game, and then we'll talk about it for a week.
I thought the umpires were good on the weekend, actually. To be honest,
yeah.
Nah, you didn't. I've just felt they let a lot of the wrestling go, and they let a lot of. I mean, not the Selwood one, but that was obvious.
We hear them too much. We hear too much of them telling players what to do.
So they're actually coaching, and you don't like it.
It's just annoying. Like, it's like, don't do that. I'm right here. I'm watching this.
The only reason I don't mind that is because he's actually given them the benefit of the doubt, saying, cut it out or I'm going to pay a free kick. Imagine if you just paid the free.
But when they're not doing anything that is free kick worthy, it's like
some of it's quite borderline.
Let the boys play. Like,
yeah, but how many times do you have to jump punch someone before it's like, all right, that's enough? Like Buddy was asking for it, he kept jumping punching Phil Davis.
This is not I don't think it's not like a fight in the schoolyard or like out of the street where it's just it'll stop. Like, they're not actually fighting; they're just grappling. Like,
so you can just throw the ball up, mate.
Well, let the boys play. Take the chains off the gym and let the boys play.
Coach Carter, great film for anyone watching.
Great film, Benny. We're just about to wrap up here.
Yeah.
What are we going to go through? You want to do some tips?
Might as well do some tips. I need to catch up here. I don't have many games left to catch up on.
They get smaller and smaller, the funnel. Yeah. So what's the leaderboard look like? The Magoo's finals tipping. Can you just run through the leaderboard?
Well, let's be honest. If it was the other way result, we wouldn't be talking. If it was the other way around, we would not even be talking about this.
So what's the leaderboard?
3-1.
Whose way?
Yours.
Mine. Nice. So I'm on 3, so I'll tip first. So if you want to copy or change,
I had to. You could just go the favourites and
Hawthorn will beat Melbourne.
Incorrect.
On Friday night.
Melbourne's going to win that.
Okay, so there's our point of difference, and I think Collingwood will beat GWS, but I'll say Hawthorn by 21.
Okay.
And I'll say
21.
Collingwood by 14.
Guarantee Hawthorn do win. It's going to be under a kick.
Okay.
But I think Melbourne by I'm going to say Melbourne by 22.
Mm-hmm.
And who'd you say, Collingwood?
I said Collingwood by 14.
Collingwood by 14. Well, I mean, I'm already behind, but I'm going to say GWS.
No, well, just tell me who you think's going to win.
Coming into this show before this tip, I thought Collingwood.
Well, then just tip Collingwood because there's a lot.
Because then you.
What I'm saying is that I want. Last week's was good because we had 4 different opinions and it wasn't fabricated. Which.
Okay.
I know a lot of the garbage that we carry on with is fabricated.
Yeah.
Last week we just said our tips and they were all 4 completely
Could you
different.
believe it?
I actually
in the same episode that we had Alex Woodward on,
who
went on to come second in the JJ
list. It's almost
list.
Magoo Minardi, isn't it?
Oh.
If only we had a producer to help put together those segments.
I'm tired. I need one. We need one.
We're all tired.
We're all tired. Some more than others. All right, I'm going to back Collingwood as well then. Right. Would you say 14 points?
Yep.
It's not a bad guess.
Thanks.
I'm going to say 3 goals.
18 points for you. Okay. Enjoy week 2 of the finals, Magoo's community. We'll be back next week to preview all the prelims and go through everything that's going on in the footy world. Might have some more trade bombshells or something by this time next week. You just don't know this time of year, don't you?
The less footy there is, the more there's bombshells, even when they're not true. Like Luke Parker came out for a day. He was going to Bombers. A day later, he squashed it.
Nothing quite like squashing them either, is there?
I love it.
All right, Benny, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on the socials at Magoo's __ on Twitter and Instagram, the Magoo's podcast on YouTube and Facebook and all that sort of
Pinterest.
stuff. Access
not
the
Pinterest.
no, not on Pinterest. But access all the great episodes of ours. So thank you very much for watching, downloading, streaming, whoever you are, digesting us, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
I don't know what that noise was.
Yeah.
But yeah.